Welcome to Shy's 13 Random Facts, where we pick anyone, anywhere, or anything and find 13 plus random facts about it. We toss in some trivia just for fun. Then we share it all with you because we feel curious minds want to know. Today we are going to learn 13 plus random facts about the already extinct dodo bird. So sit back, relax, buckle up, and let's begin. So let's just start with the dodo birds only ever lived on Mauritius. Scientists discovered that the dodo only ever lived on the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. They were so isolated that their population didn't even spread to the neighboring islands off the eastern coast of Africa. The simple reason for this is that the dodo was flightless and was therefore unable to reach any other island or landmass. Sometime during the Pleistocene epoch, a badly lost flock of pigeons landed on the Indian Ocean island of Mauritius, located about 700 miles east of Madagascar. The pigeons prospered in this new environment, evolving over hundreds of thousands of years into the flightless, 3-foot-tall, 50-pound dodo bird, which was probably first glimpsed by human beings when the Dutch settlers landed on Mauritius in 1598. Less than 65 years later, the dodo was completely extinct. The last confirmed sighting of this hapless bird was in 1662. Let's start this party with a question. Question number 1, true or false? Another bird, which was the Rodriguez solitaire from the Indian island ocean of Rodriguez, suffered the same fate as the dodo bird, also in the 17th century. What makes this ironic is they were also related to the dodo bird. Is that true or false? What do you think? While you're thinking about that, let's move on to fact number 1. The dodo bird didn't taste like chicken. Considering how indiscriminately they were clubbed to death by the Dutch settlers for food, the birds weren't all that tasty. Dining options being fairly limited in the 17th century, though, the sailors who landed on Mauritius did the best with what they had, eating as much as the clubbed dodo carcasses as they could stomach and then preserving the leftovers with salt. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe buttons along with the notification bell, which all happen to be down below this video. This way you can be kept informed every time we upload a new video. The answer to your first question is true. Dodo bird was related to the Rodriguez solitaire, which occupied the Indian island oceans of Rodriguez and suffered the same fate as its more famous cousin. Just like the dodo, they were completely unprepared for the human settlers that landed on its island in the 17th century. Fact number 2. Aside from the phrase, as dead as a dodo, the dodo bird's chief contribution to cultural history is its cameo in Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, where it stages a caucus race. Contrary to popular characterizations, the dodos in this book are depicted as being quite solemn and wise. We do hope you're enjoying our videos with 13 plus random facts. If, however, you have any ideas on ways to improve or get better, please feel free to let us know in the comment section below. Question number 2, true or false? It's widely believed that the dodo in the book Alice's Adventures in Wonderland was a stand-in for Lewis Carroll himself, whose real name was Charles Lutwidge Dodgson. While you're thinking about that, we'll move on to fact number 3. Dodos couldn't fly, but don't let the rather strange appearance of the dodo fool you. One of the more bizarre dodo bird facts is that these birds could actually run quite fast. Although there is a lack of scientific evidence to support this claim, however, modern scientists have managed to deduce this fact based on the dodo bird's skeletal structure and the size of its legs. Isn't science amazing? Feel free to share this video with your friends. Let's spread the word and get more people here. With your help, let's watch this channel grow together. Answer number 2 is true. Many believe that the dodo was a stand-in for Lewis Carroll himself, whose real name was Charles Lutwidge Dodson. If you take into consideration that Lewis Carroll had a pronounced stutter, and the first 2 letters of his last real name was D.O., you can see how or why he would identify himself so closely with this extinct bird. Personally, I feel that's a big reach, if you ask me, so unless the words came directly out of his own mouth, I wouldn't read too much into this one, but again, that's just my opinion. Let us know what you think down below. Fact number 4, the dodo bird is a commercial commodity. If you are ever lucky enough to visit the islands of Mauritius, you will see dodos everywhere. Not live ones, of course, but replicas and images wherever you look. The image of the dodo has been transformed into just about every possible version that could pass as a tempting curio for the tourists visiting this island paradise. So in addition to sugar and rum, the dodo is a significant contributor to the Mauritius tourism economy. Honestly though, that shouldn't surprise anyone. Most places have always cashed in on one thing or another, especially if their city, town, or state was put on the map for something specifically. One example would be Roswell. One visit to that town and you're probably coming home with many replicas of aliens. Am I wrong? Number 3 is another true or false. Although the dodo bird could not fly, the Dutch settlers found it very interesting and strange to discover that the birds built their nests high atop the trees away from possible dangers, keeping their eggs protected from all predators. What do you think? Is that true or false? Fact number 5. The dodo bird was also known as the wallow bird. There was only a short interval between the official naming of the dodo bird and its disappearance. Shortly after its discovery, a Dutch captain named the dodo bird the wallow bird. Modern philologists aren't even sure about the derivation of the dodo name. The likely candidates, however, include the Dutch word dodar, meaning sluggard, or the Portuguese word doado, meaning crazy. If you ask me, my unprofessional opinion is they were called dodos only after the Dutch saw how simple it was to slaughter them all. Like seriously, the bird would walk right up to their killers. How sad is that? Answer to number 3 is false. Dodos build their nest on the ground, unlike most other birds that build their nests in trees. This was largely because they couldn't fly, and with no natural predators, their nests didn't need to be protected in trees. And of course, we as human beings took advantage of that. Fact number 6. Until the modern era, the dodo had led a charmed life. There was no predatory mammals, reptiles, or even large insects on its island habitat, and thus no need to evolve any natural defenses. In fact, dodo birds were so innately trusting that they would actually waddle up to armed Dutch settlers, unaware that these strange creatures intended to kill and eat them. And that was what I was saying earlier from my research. It wasn't that these birds were stupid, it was more that they had no reason not to trust. Up until they met humans, they had no enemies or creatures that preyed on them. So simply put, they didn't stand a chance. Question number 4, another true or false question for you. It's unfortunate, but there is no place in the world where you can go to look at any part of a dodo bird to see what it truly looked like in its natural form. The Dutch and Portuguese slaughtered them so fast that no one even had a chance of preserving any part of them for future studying. Fact number 7. The dodo's reproductive life is still a mystery. Although there is some evidence and a few skeletons to furnish us with many dodo bird facts, there are some things that have never been reported and probably never will. I guess they were too busy eating them to actually study them. It's sad that we never got a chance to really find out anything about these creatures. What does that say about the human race? Answer to the 4th question is false. There are a few dodo specimens. The Dutch and Portuguese settlers managed to ship a few living specimens back to Europe. However, most of these unfortunate dodos didn't survive the months-long journey, and today, these once populous birds are represented by only a handful of remains. A dried head and a single foot in the Oxford Museum of Natural History, and fragments of a skull and leg bones at the University of Copenhagen, the Zoological Museum, and the National Museum of Prague. Fact number 8. It may be possible to resurrect the dodo. De-Extinction is a scientific program by which we may be able to reintroduce extinct species into the wild. There are enough preserved remains of the dodo bird to recover some of its soft tissues and thus fragments of dodo DNA, and by using their closest living relatives as surrogate parents, it becomes a very real possibility of reintroducing them back into society. But even still, the dodo is a long shot for successful de-extinction. The woolly mammoth and the gastric rooting frog, to name just two, are much more likely candidates. If you happen to know a few facts about the dodo bird that are not on this list, please feel free to share them with us in the comment section below. Question number 5. How many eggs did a dodo bird lay at one time? A, 2, B, 4, C, 3, or D, 1? A, B, C, or D? Fact number 9. There is no information whatsoever about the dodo's mating habits, behaviors, or life expectancy. In that regard, the life cycle of a dodo seems deemed to remain an intriguing mystery forever. If you happen to have a curious mind about something and would like us to find 13 plus random facts about it, then mention it down in the comment section below and we'll do our best to make it happen because, that's what I like to do. Answer to number 5 is D. The dodo bird laid only one egg at a time. Because the dodo bird had no natural enemies, the females enjoyed the luxury of laying only one egg at a time. Most other birds lay multiple eggs in order to increase the odds of at least one egg hatching, escaping predators or natural disaster, and actually surviving. One egg per dodo bird policy had disastrous consequences once the Dutch settled in on the island. Keeping in mind it wasn't just the settlers that were killing and eating them, so were the cats, rats, and pigs that invariably got loose from ships and went feral and preyed on them. So that, honestly, they never really stood a chance. Number 10, the fact that the dodo bird is immortalized in the saying "as dead as a dodo" is a telling dodo bird fact that is relevant to all environmentalists today. The saying refers to all traces of something being completely wiped out. This bird has come to represent conservationism and movements against eco-terrorism. The utter destruction of this interesting creature was entirely due to the direct and indirect causes introduced by people who then failed to intervene and preserve this unique species. Be sure to come back soon for some more random facts. Bring your friends with you. If you can't bring them, at least share the videos with them. We would love to have them here with us, though. With them and you, we could watch this channel grow together. Question number 6. What year was a complete skeleton of the dodo bird found? Was it A, 2006, B, 2007, C, 2009, or D, 2008? What year do you think it was? Wasn't that long ago? You think about that. Moving on to fact number 11. The dodo was alive before the invention of the camera, so for a long time it was hard for us to know exactly what this bird looked like. To complicate matters, very few skeletal remains were found. Therefore, for centuries, our understanding of the appearance of dodos was based on just evidence in amateur sketches. So let me know in the comments below if any of these facts surprised you. Also, let us know how you did with the questions. Did you get most of them right? We're a curious group here. We'd like to know these things. And besides, I'd like to know if I have to make the questions harder. Answer to number 6 is B. It was in 2007 that a complete skeleton of a dodo bird was found, which did confirm many of the dodo bird facts. However, exact facts about the dodo's plumage, girth, and coloring are still in question. And we will probably never know. Fact number 12. The dodo bird's diet included seeds, nuts, bulbs, fruits, and fallen fruit. In addition, they also fed on palm fruit, shellfish, and crabs. Dodo birds used gizzard stones to aid in their digestion. And if you didn't know that, you do now. Thank you for joining me today. I do hope you learned something. We do try to make it both educational and fun for everyone. Question number 7. What creature is considered the closest living relative today to the dodo bird? A. The penguin. B. The ostrich. C. The Nicobar pigeon. Or D. The chicken. Which one do you think it is? Or do you maybe you know for sure which one is it? A, B, C, or D? Fact number 13. The dodo was secondarily flightless. This is a recurrent theme in bird evolution and has been observed in penguins, ostriches, and chickens. It takes a lot of energy to maintain powered flight, which is why nature favors this adaptation only when it's absolutely necessary. After the dodo birds landed on their island paradise, they gradually lost their ability to fly, at the same time evolving to turkey-like sizes. Scientists believe that one of the reasons that the dodo became flightless was probably because there were virtually no potential predators in its natural habitat on the island of Mauritius. In addition, there was an abundance of food for these birds, so they really had no reason to fly. So that's it. That's all I got for facts, although I still have one more answer for you. But with that being said, I'd like to say I will be back tomorrow, and I do hope you will be back to join us. And again, bring your friends with you. Answer number 7 is C. The closest relative living today to the dodo bird is the Nicobar pigeon. Just to show what an anomaly the dodo bird was, genetic analysis of preserved specimens has confirmed that its closest living relative is the Nicobar pigeon, a much smaller flying bird that ranges across the southern Pacific. I hope you had fun. My name is Shai. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you have yourselves a great day and good night.